So after a lot of work tallying up results, you see in front of you number one of research priorities based on everybody's ranking is the topic that the West submitted, determining the optimum equipment technician to equipment ratio. I abbreviated some of the description here just to get it on the screen, but so that will become our top priority to push forward to try and get funding for a research project. What that'll look like, and the details behind it are yet to be determined. If we determine that it's best suited as a full-blown research, we'll have to put together a research needs statement. Usually we ask for kind of a cheerleader or a volunteer to help us through that process and take first stab at it, and then we work on it collectively. For anybody that shows up at the DC conference is kind of the first step at that. And then after the conference, the MAC meeting, there's really another month or 6 weeks or so before it's really due. I mean, the process is we take it before the committee on maintenance for them to assign. That's not a ranking. They're assigning an importance number to it, to them. Every member that's there, every voting member, they rank it from 1 to 5. 1 being, this is a very legitimate research that we would love to see it move forward. 5 meaning it's the least, but they could give everybody a number 1, everyone that's in front of them. It's not a ranking. Is this important? Is this not important? And so we just have to have enough information in front of them for them to kind of understand the topic, not necessarily have the whole research need statement drawn, although that's ideal. But likely, since the meeting's next month, we probably won't have that done entirely. Anyway, my point is we'll likely be asking for a volunteer we will be asking for a volunteer to help us kind of draft first stages of this research need statement. And so if this came from the West, and if there's a particular person that was intimately involved in that, let me know, and we'll work with them to kind of put some language to this research. Number 2, I think, was the Northeast topic, if I remember right, best practices in AVL telematics data collection. That's also a really good topic in my opinion, and I think you all must agree. So we'll talk about whether it makes sense for us to roll forward with 2 topics or 1. In the past, we've really focused 1 at a time, and we've been pretty successful at that. You tend to sort of split the baby kind of when you roll more than 1 out. This may wait till next year potentially. But if it's a synthesis, maybe you can do them both at the same time. One's a full-blown research and one's a synthesis project. Anyway, we'll have more discussions about that. We had a tie for number 3, and they both got the same score. I wasn't very specific in how to do your balloting, and some did it different than others. Some folks are pretty literal, and it was rate these from 1 to 5, and so you rated them 1 to 5 and then stopped at number 5, and there were 9 on the page, I think. And so everything that didn't get a number got a number 6. Anyway, I don't know if that would have changed it if, and some folks went ahead and went 1 to 9, but it certainly doesn't change the top 5. And the bottom 6 through 9, likely we won't get to that anytime soon. So we'll have another national conference before we get there. Anyway, that's how you all voted collectively. Any questions about research, about those results? Close it, and I know this next one is on everybody's mind now. With only 2, and likely we'll be doing both of these, we'll probably be visiting with Dennis Halichoff a little bit, since he's the guy that gets to really put content to topics and make sure that he's on board with these. The top rated one was the methodology for utilizing the fleet data to drive decisions. In other words, how we tell our story, and then and then the second most important was the specialized equipment maintenance. But my guess is we'll be doing both of those. I think we've got 7 and 8 identified. This will be 9 and 10 topics. I think we're set. The other thing we asked, or we talked about potentially, was whether we were going to do another fleet performance metric, and we all decided maybe we'll just hold tight on the 5, and so nothing to present there. Any questions? Okay. Well, appreciate it.
The preceding was produced by the National Center for Pavement Preservation. More information can be found on the web at pavementpreservation.org. Additional support provided by Michigan State University.